Mama, meet my wife. I love her so much, and we're getting married soon.
God forbid. How can my son be getting married to a woman as old as his mother? It cannot happen while I am alive.
But we love each other, Mama.
Who is your mother, this old cargo?
Chinedu was a man many people admired. He was young, rich, and successful. In his early 30s, he already had what most men only dreamed about. He lived in a big house in a quiet area. The house had tall gates, clean tiles, and many rooms. 2 cars were always parked inside the compound. People in the neighborhood respected him. Chinedu worked in a big company in the city. He earned a lot of money every month. He dressed well, spoke calmly, and carried himself with confidence. Wherever he went, people greeted him with respect. His mother, Ngozi, was very proud of him. Ngozi was a hard-working woman. She raised Chinedu alone after his father died many years ago. She sold goods in the market when he was young. She suffered so he could go to school. Now all her suffering felt worth it. Whenever Ngozi talked about her son, her face would shine. She told everyone, "My son is doing well. God has been good to us." Chinedu never forgot his mother. He sent her money every month. He called her often. He made sure she lacked nothing. Ngozi prayed for him every morning. Chinedu also had a girlfriend named Ifunaya. She was young, gentle, and respectful. She visited Ngozi often and greeted her properly. She helped in the kitchen and spoke with good manners. Ngozi liked her very much. Many family members already believed that Ifunaya would soon become Chinedu's wife. They talked about marriage plans. They talked about future children. Everything looked settled. Life was good. Then one evening, everything changed. It was a Sunday afternoon. Ngozi was at home resting when she received a phone call from Chinedu. "Mama," he said calmly, "I am coming to see you today." Ngozi smiled. She quickly stood up and began to prepare food. She was happy because her son rarely came without calling first. Later that day, a car stopped in front of her house. Ngozi came outside smiling. But when she looked closely, her smile slowly disappeared. Chinedu stepped out of the car. Behind him, another woman stepped out. The woman was not young. She was tall and bold. She looked confident. She dressed in expensive clothes. Gold jewelry shone on her neck and wrists. Her face was well made, and she walked proudly. Ngozi felt confused. This woman was around her own age. Chinedu greeted his mother and turned to the woman. "Mama," he said, "this is Madam Nkiru." Ngozi forced a smile. She greeted the woman politely. Inside her heart, questions were rising. Who is this woman? Why is my son bringing her here? They all went inside the house. Ngozi served food, but she noticed something strange. Chinedu was not acting like himself. He was quiet. He avoided his mother's eyes. He did not smile much. After eating, Chinedu cleared his throat. "Mama," he said, "I have something important to tell you." Ngozi sat up straight. "This woman," Chinedu continued, pointing to Madam Nkiru, "is the woman I want to marry." The room became silent. Ngozi felt like the ground had opened under her feet. "Marry?" she repeated slowly. "Yes," Chinedu said. "She is my wife." Ngozi looked at Madam Nkiru again. She looked at her face. She looked at her hands. She looked at her eyes. This woman was old enough to be Chinedu's mother. Ngozi's voice began to shake. "What about Ifunaya?" she asked. Chinedu frowned slightly. "That relationship is over," he said. Ngozi could not understand. "But my son," she said gently, "people know you and Ifunaya. You are planning marriage." Chinedu's voice became firm. "Mama, I have made my choice." Madam Nkiru smiled faintly but said nothing. Ngozi felt a deep pain in her chest. Family members soon heard the news. Chinedu's uncles, aunts, and cousins came to talk to him. They begged him. They advised him. Some shouted. Some cried. They told him the truth. "This woman is too old for you. You are ruining your future. People will laugh at you." Chinedu refused to listen. "I love her," he said. "That is all that matters." Ngozi cried that night. She knelt down and begged her son. "My son," she said, "I carried you in my womb. Please listen to me." Chinedu pulled her up gently. "Mama, please stop," he said. "I know what I am doing." A few weeks later, Chinedu married Madame Nkiru quietly. No big celebration, no joy, no happiness. After the marriage, Chinedu stopped visiting home often. He stopped answering calls like before. He stopped sharing his plans. Ifunanya disappeared from their lives completely. People began to whisper, "This is not normal," they said. Ngozi stayed awake many nights thinking. She felt something was wrong, but she did not know what it was. After the quiet marriage, everything around Chinedu began to change. The man who used to laugh freely became serious. The man who used to call his mother every day became distant. The man who listened to advice now avoided everyone. Madame Nkiru moved fully into Chinedu's house. From the first week, people noticed something strange. She acted like the owner of the house. She changed the house workers. She gave orders boldly. She spoke to Chinedu in a firm tone, even in front of others. Chinedu did not complain. He obeyed. Ngozi tried to visit her son after the marriage. She called him many times before the visit. He did not pick her calls. When she finally went to his house without calling, the gate was locked. She knocked for a long time before it was opened. When Chinedu came out, Ngozi almost did not recognize him. He looked tired. His eyes were dull. He looked thinner. "My son," Ngozi said softly, "are you well?" Chinedu nodded quickly. "I am fine, Mama," he said. Madame Nkiru came out of the house. She greeted Ngozi calmly, but her eyes were cold. She did not smile. Ngozi entered the house and sat down. She tried to talk to her son. She tried to ask about work. She tried to ask about his life. Chinedu answered in short sentences. Madame Nkiru watched everything quietly. After a while, she stood up. "Chinedu," she said, "come and help me inside." Chinedu rushed inside and followed her. Ngozi sat alone in the living room. She felt unwanted. She left the house with a heavy heart. Days passed. Weeks passed. Chinedu stopped calling his mother completely. Ngozi called him again and again. He did not answer. When she sent messages, he replied late or not at all. Family members noticed the change. They tried to talk to him. He avoided them. Some went to his office to see him. He refused to come out. People began to talk. Something is wrong with Chinedu. That woman has tied him. Ngozi did not want to believe it. She prayed and prayed. She told herself, he's a grown man. Maybe he just needs time. But the signs became clearer. Chinedu stopped attending family meetings. He stopped helping relatives like before. He stopped sending money home regularly. Instead, news reached the family that Madame Nkiru's people were enjoying. Her younger brother opened a shop. Her sister started a big business. Her cousin bought a car. People whispered, "Where is the money coming from?" Chinedu's name was mentioned quietly. Ngozi began to worry deeply. One evening, she decided to confront her son. She went to his house again. This time, the gate was open. But what she saw shocked her. The compound was untidy. The flowers were dry. The house looked neglected. Ngozi entered slowly. Inside the house, things were not clean. Shoes were scattered. Plates were unwashed. Dust covered the chairs. This was not how Chinedu used to live. Ngozi called his name. Chinedu came out from the kitchen. He was holding a broom. Ngozi froze. Her rich son, sweeping the house? "Mama," Chinedu said calmly. Ngozi could not speak at first. "What are you doing?" she asked finally. "I am cleaning," he replied. Madame Nkiru's voice came from the bedroom. "Chinedu, hurry up, there's work to do." Chinedu dropped the broom and rushed inside. Ngozi sat down slowly. Her heart was beating fast. After some minutes, Chinedu returned. Madame Nkiru followed him. She sat down like a queen. Ngozi looked at her closely. The woman looked strong. Her eyes were sharp. Her smile did not reach her eyes. Ngozi gathered courage. "My son," she said, "this is not the life I planned for you." Chinedu frowned slightly. "Mama, I am fine. Please stop worrying." Madame Nkiru spoke. "Mother," she said, "Chinedu is my husband now. Let him live his life." Ngozi stood up. "I only want peace for my son," she said quietly. Madame Nkiru smiled again. "Peace is already here." Ngozi left the house with tears in her eyes. That night, Chinedu did not call. Days later, more strange stories reached the family. People said Chinedu now woke up early to cook. He washed clothes, he cleaned the house, he went to work and returned tired. Still, Madame Nkiru sent him on errands. Still, he obeyed. Ngozi cried often. She told the family elder, "My son is no longer himself." The elder shook his head. "This matter is deep," he said. Ngozi felt fear. She felt helpless. She decided she would not give up on her son. Even if he pushed her away, she would keep watching. She would keep praying, because a mother's heart never rests when her child is in danger.
As months passed, Chinedu's life changed completely. The rich man people once admired was slowly disappearing. In his place was a quiet man who moved like a shadow in his own house. Every morning, Chinedu woke up before sunrise, not to relax, not to pray, but to work. He swept the compound. He washed plates from the night before. He cooked food before going to work. He cleaned the house from top to bottom. Madame Nkiru sat comfortably and watched. Sometimes she shouted from the bedroom, "Chinedu, where's my tea? Chinedu, did you iron my clothes? Chinedu, hurry up." Chinedu never complained. He answered softly, "Yes, my wife." After doing all the chores, he dressed for work. He still went to his office every day. He still worked hard. He still made a lot of money. But that money was no longer his. The moment his salary entered his account, Madame Nkiru took control. She collected his bank card. She knew his phone password. She checked his messages. She controlled his spending. When Chinedu received money, he handed it over quietly. Madame Nkiru smiled each time. With Chinedu's money, her family began to rise. Her younger brother opened a big shop. Her sister built a fine house in the village. Her cousin traveled abroad. Her people lived comfortably. Meanwhile, Chinedu's own family suffered. He stopped helping relatives. He stopped sending money home. He stopped answering calls. Ngozi noticed everything. She heard stories from neighbors. She heard stories from family members. She heard stories from people who visited Chinedu's area. They said the same thing. Your son has changed. Your son is suffering. Your son is no longer free. Ngozi's heart was heavy. She tried to call Chinedu again. No answer. She sent messages. No reply. Sometimes he replied with only one word, "I'm fine." But Ngozi knew he was not fine. One afternoon, Ngozi decided to visit again. She did not tell anyone. She did not call ahead. When she arrived at Chinedu's house, she almost cried. The house that used to shine was now dull. The paint looked dirty. The compound was full of weeds. The gate made noise as it opened. Ngozi entered slowly. Inside the house, the smell hit her first. Plates were stacked in the sink. Dust covered the chairs. Clothes were scattered on the floor. Ngozi covered her mouth. "This is not my son's house," she whispered. She called out softly, "Chinedu?" No answer. She walked further inside. She found Chinedu in the kitchen. He was kneeling on the floor washing clothes by hand. Ngozi froze. Her heart broke. "Chinedu?" she called. He turned and looked at her. For a moment, he looked confused. Then he smiled weakly. "Mama?" he said. Ngozi rushed to him and pulled him up. "My son, what is this?" she cried. "Why are you washing clothes like this?" Chinedu looked away. "I have to do it," he said quietly. Ngozi touched his face. He looked thinner. His eyes were tired. His skin looked dull. "Are you sick?" she asked. "No," he replied quickly. Madame Nkiru's voice came from the bedroom. "Chinedu, why are you wasting time?" Chinedu stood up immediately. "Yes, my wife." Ngozi felt anger rise in her chest. She followed him into the living room. Madame Nkiru was sitting on the sofa, pressing her phone. She did not stand up to greet Ngozi. "Mother," she said without looking down, "you are welcome." Ngozi nodded stiffly. She sat down and looked around. "Where are the house workers?" she asked. Madame Nkiru smiled. "We don't need them. My husband is strong." Ngozi looked at Chinedu. He stood quietly like a servant. "My son," Ngozi said softly, "this is not right." Chinedu did not answer. Madame Nkiru's smile faded. "Mother," she said, "this is my house, my marriage. Please respect it." Ngozi stood up slowly. "I only want my son to be well." "He is very well," Madame Nkiru replied sharply. Ngozi left the house in tears. That night, she could not sleep. She remembered how Chinedu used to be, strong, happy, free. Now he looked trapped. Days later, things became worse. Chinedu stopped going out completely. He stopped meeting friends. He stopped smiling. He worked, came home, did chores and slept. That was his life. Neighbors began to whisper openly, "That woman has finished him. He is now her slave. This is not ordinary." Ngozi felt fear, deep fear. She began to pray harder. She fasted. She cried to God. "Please, save my son," she begged. One evening, she made a decision. She would go back to Chinedu's house again. This time, she would stay longer. She would observe carefully. She would find out what was really happening, because no mother could watch her son slowly die and do nothing. And Ngozi was ready to face the truth, no matter how dark it was. Ngozi did not sleep well the night she decided to return to her son's house. Her heart was heavy. Her mind was full of fear. She kept seeing Chinedu's tired face again and again. Early the next morning, she packed a small bag. She did not tell anyone where she was going. She only said a short prayer and left her house. When she arrived at Chinedu's compound, the gate was half open. She pushed it gently and entered. The compound was worse than before. Weeds had grown everywhere. Dry leaves covered the ground. The place looked abandoned. Ngozi felt pain in her chest. "This is my son's house," she whispered. She knocked on the door. No one answered. She knocked again. Still nothing. Slowly she pushed the door open. Inside the house, the smell was strong. Dirty plates were everywhere. The floor was dusty. The curtains were dark with dirt. Ngozi covered her mouth. At that moment, Chinedu came out of the bedroom. He looked shocked to see her. "Mama," he said. "My son," Ngozi said softly. "I came to see you." Chinedu looked around nervously. "My wife is sleeping," he said quickly. "Please don't wake her." Ngozi looked at him closely. His eyes were red. His shoulders were bent. He looked like a man carrying a heavy load. Ngozi touched his hand. "My son," she said gently, "this house is dirty. Let me clean it." Chinedu shook his head. "No, Mama, I will do it later." Ngozi did not listen. She picked up a broom. A mother cannot come to her son's house and sit in dirt. Chinedu hesitated, then nodded slowly. Ngozi began to clean. She swept the living room. She washed plates. She arranged the chairs. As she cleaned, she noticed strange things. There were no pictures of Chinedu and his family on the wall anymore. Only Madame Nkiru's pictures were there. Ngozi felt uneasy. She moved to the bedroom. The room was dark. The curtains were always closed. The air felt heavy. Ngozi opened the windows. Fresh air entered the room. She began to clean carefully. As she swept near the bed, she bent down to clean under it. That was when she saw it. A small bottle. It was tied with a red thread. Ngozi froze. Her heart started beating fast. She slowly pulled the bottle out. Inside the bottle was something folded. Ngozi opened it with shaking hands. It was Chinedu's picture, her son's picture. Ngozi felt busy. Her hands trembled. Her legs became weak. She sat down on the floor. "What is this?" she whispered. She looked closely. Inside the bottle were strange items, small seeds, black powder, red thread. Ngozi had seen such things before, not with her own eyes, but through stories. Her heart began to race. "This is not ordinary," she said. She quickly closed the bottle and wrapped it in her wrapper. At that moment, she heard footsteps. Madame Nkiru was standing at the door. Her eyes were sharp. "What are you doing here?" she asked coldly. "I am cleaning," Ngozi replied calmly. Madame Nkiru looked around. Her eyes moved to the bed, then to Ngozi's bag. Her face changed slightly. "You should not touch things in this room," she said. Ngozi forced a smile. "I am only helping my son," she said. Madame Nkiru did not reply. She turned and left the room. Ngozi's heart was beating loudly. She knew she had found something dangerous. She finished cleaning quickly. She did not stay long. Before leaving, she looked at Chinedu. "My son," she said, "I will come again." Chinedu nodded weakly. When Ngozi left the house, she did not stop walking. She walked fast. Her hands held the bottle tightly inside her bag. Her mind was full of questions. Why was her son's picture inside a bottle? Why was it hidden under his bed? Who put it there? She knew one thing. This was the reason her son had changed. That evening, Ngozi did not sleep. She kept the bottle beside her. She prayed. She cried. She remembered the stories elders used to tell, Stories of charms, stories of control, stories of people losing their freedom. Ngozi made a decision. She would not confront Madam Nkiru. She would not tell Chinedu yet. She needed the truth, the real truth. Early the next morning, she wrapped the bottle carefully. She went to see an old man in the next town. The man was known for wisdom. He was known for knowing hidden things. When Ngozi reached his place, her heart was beating fast. She sat down in front of him. "Father," she said, "please help me." She brought out the bottle and placed it on the ground. The old man looked at it. His face became serious. "This matter is deep," he said. Ngozi swallowed hard. "My son is dying slowly." The old man nodded slowly. "Tomorrow," he said, "I will tell you the truth." Ngozi felt fear and hope at the same time. She knew one thing. After this, nothing would ever be the same.
Ngozi did not sleep at all that night. She lay on the bed in the old man's house, staring at the roof. Her heart was heavy. Her mind was full of fear. The bottle was kept outside the room, just as the old man instructed. Ngozi did not touch it again. Very early in the morning, the old man sent for her. She walked slowly and sat in front of him. Her hands were shaking. The old man looked at her for a long time before speaking. "Woman," he said calmly, "your son is under strong control." Ngozi's heart dropped. "Control?" she repeated. The old man nodded. "That bottle you brought is not ordinary," he said. "It was made to tie a man's mind, his strength, and his destiny." Ngozi covered her mouth. Tears filled her eyes. "My son was not like this before," she cried. "He was strong. He was wise." The old man sighed. "That is how it always begins," he said. "When control enters, wisdom leaves." He picked up a stick and pointed at the bottle. "That bottle was placed under your son's bed," he said. "Every night he slept on top of it. Every night the charm worked deeper." Ngozi felt weak. "So that is why he changed," she whispered. "Yes," the old man replied. "That woman tied him with love charm and obedience charm. That is why he listens to her only. That is why he gives her everything." Ngozi cried loudly. "She is using him," she said. "She is destroying him." The old man nodded slowly. "She is feeding her family with your son's sweat," he said. "His money is flowing away from him like water." Ngozi remembered everything. Her son washing clothes, her son cooking, her son looking tired and empty. "My son is a slave," she cried. The old man raised his hand. "Not yet dead," he said. "But if nothing is done, he will lose everything." Ngozi leaned forward. "What will he lose?" she asked fearfully. The old man looked at her deeply. "His money," he said. "His health. And if the charm is renewed again and again, his life." Ngozi screamed. "No!" she shouted. "Please help me. I beg you." The old man remained calm. "There is a way," he said, "but it is not easy." Ngozi wiped her tears. "I am ready," she said. "I am his mother." The old man explained carefully. "The bottle must be destroyed," he said, "but the woman who tied him will feel it." Ngozi froze. "What do you mean?" she asked. "When the charm is broken," the old man said, "there will be reaction." Ngozi's heart beat faster. "What kind of reaction?" The old man replied slowly. "Your son may fall sick. He may collapse. He may lose consciousness." Ngozi gasped. "But if the bottle is not destroyed," he continued, "he will surely be destroyed." Ngozi sat quietly. She thought of her son's face. She thought of the boy she carried in her womb. "I choose sickness," she said softly, "not death." The old man nodded. "You are a brave mother," he said. He warned her again. "When the bottle is destroyed, the woman may run. She may disappear. She may try to fight back spiritually." Ngozi swallowed hard. "I am not afraid," she said. "I only want my son back." The old man prepared some items. He prayed. He spoke words Ngozi did not understand. He brought fire. He placed the bottle inside a small clay pot. Before breaking it, he looked at Ngozi. "After today, your son will wake up slowly." Ngozi nodded. The old man smashed the bottle. The sound was sharp. At that same moment, Ngozi felt a strong pain in her chest. She cried out, "Ah!" The old man looked at her. "It has started," he said. Ngozi rushed home immediately. Her heart was beating fast. As she entered her house, her phone rang. It was a neighbor near Chinedu's house. "Mama Ngozi," the woman shouted, "please come quickly. Your son has collapsed." Ngozi screamed. She dropped the phone and ran. When she reached Chinedu's house, people were gathered. Chinedu was lying on the floor. His eyes were closed. He was breathing slowly. Madam Nkiru was nowhere to be found. Ngozi rushed to her son and held him. "My son," she cried, "please open your eyes." Chinedu did not respond. They rushed him to the hospital. Doctors worked on him. Hours passed. Ngozi sat outside crying and praying. That night, no one saw Madam Nkiru. Her phone was switched off. Her room was empty. Some of her clothes were gone. She had disappeared. Ngozi knew the truth. The charm was broken, but the battle was not yet over, because her son was still lying unconscious, and she did not know if he would wake up. Ngozi sat outside the hospital room all night. She did not sleep. She did not eat. She only prayed. Her son, Chinedu, was still lying on the hospital bed. Machines were connected to his body. His eyes were closed. His chest moved slowly as he breathed. Doctors came in and out. They spoke in low voices. They said his condition was serious but stable. Ngozi held her rosary tightly. "God," she whispered, "please give me my son back." As morning came, family members arrived. They were shocked to see Chinedu like that. Some cried. Some asked questions. Some blamed themselves for not acting earlier. Ngozi told them the truth. She told them about the bottle. She told them about the charm. She told them about the old man and the warning. Everyone was silent. "So it was juju," one uncle said quietly. Ngozi nodded. "Yes," she replied. "My son was controlled." News spread quickly. Neighbors came. Friends came. People whispered in shock. "That woman destroyed him. She used him. This world is dangerous." Madam Nkiru did not return. Her phone remained switched off. Her family members suddenly began to suffer. The brother who opened a shop lost everything. The business failed suddenly. The sister's house project stopped. Money dried up. People noticed. "The source has closed," they said. 3 days passed. Chinedu did not wake up. Ngozi was losing strength. On the 4th night, she sat beside his bed. She held his hand. "My son," she cried softly. "It is me, your mother." Tears dropped on his hand. "I carried you. I suffered for you. Please come back to me." Suddenly, his fingers moved. Ngozi froze. "Chinedu," she whispered. Slowly, his eyes opened. Ngozi screamed. "He has woken up," she shouted. Doctors rushed in. They checked him quickly. "He is awake," one doctor said. "He is responding." Ngozi fell on her knees and thanked God. Chinedu looked around slowly. His eyes were confused. "Mama," he said weakly. "Yes, my son, I am here." Tears rolled down his cheeks. "What happened to me?" Ngozi did not answer immediately. She only held him and cried. Days passed. Chinedu became stronger. One afternoon when they were alone, he spoke. "Mama," he said quietly, "I remember everything now." Ngozi listened carefully. "When I met Madam Nkiru, nothing felt strange at first. But after some time, my mind became cloudy. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I could not stop." He covered his face. "I was trapped," he cried. "I was a slave in my own house." Ngozi cried with him. "She made me give her all my money. She made me push everyone away. I even forgot who I was." Ngozi held him tightly. "You are free now," she said. "It is over." After Chinedu was discharged, he returned home with his mother. The house felt empty. Madam Nkiru's things were gone. Her pictures were gone. Only silence remained. Chinedu walked around slowly. Tears filled his eyes. "This house became my prison." Ngozi nodded. "But you are alive," she replied. "That is what matters." Chinedu sold the house later. Too many painful memories lived there. He took time to heal. He apologized to his family. He begged them for forgiveness. They forgave him. Ifunanya had moved on with her life. Chinedu accepted it quietly. I lost something good, he said, because I did not listen. Months later, Chinedu began again, slowly, wisely. He became closer to his mother than ever. He warned other young men, not every love is pure, not every smile is safe. The story spread far. People were shocked. Some learned, some feared, some became careful. Ngozi thanked God every day. She got her son back, but she never forgot the lesson that love without wisdom can destroy a man, and silence can kill faster than truth. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more powerful stories.